because that's what we're here for. We're here to solve their biggest challenges, and we have to do it in a manner that's appropriate. We can't just pass them around to different people because we don't want to answer them or we don't know what's going on.
A lot of times it's just more little things that we don't think about. And to me, it's like we're sort of putting ourselves ahead of everybody else. All right. Today's exciting because last podcast we did, we talked about good customer service examples. So now we're doing like the devilish side of bad customer service examples. I think, I'm curious what you think, Cerise, but I think a lot of times what ends up happening is we don't always realize we're giving bad service because maybe we're in the moment of the transaction, or a client's like kind of frustrating, or we've had kind of a bad experience with them in the past. And then all of a sudden it's just like you kind of hit your wit's end and you become a person. And sometimes people do some things that are questionable, right?
Right. Yeah. I think we get to moments where it's just like, on both ends of it, where when somebody's treating you poorly, when they're giving you poor customer service, where do you go next? Do you kill them with kindness, or do you get angry about it? And then when you're on the service side of it, you have to maintain your composure to make sure that you're still giving customer service, regardless of what the client is doing. I've actually had clients call in and start swearing at me. And you just say, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to listen to those kind of words. And I need you to respect me so I can answer you. And then you just end the phone call.
Yeah. And I think, by the way, like we've all been a frustrated customer at one point or another, like whether it's something that we think should be simple that's not. Like I just, on our health insurance plan, they sent me like the HSA debit card, but they just sent one for me. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you send one for my husband, Andrew, too? Like now I got to go figure this out. Is that bad customer service? Probably not bad, but it's all just like thinking logistically, like there's two people on this account. Why do we have to ask for a second one? And so sometimes it's just little things where we don't always put ourselves in the customer's shoes, I guess, of like small things that can make kind of a big difference to keep things moving.
It's funny that you mentioned that. My husband has an HSA too, and he's the only one with a card. So I carry around the card number and information in my purse because they wouldn't give me a second card because he's the primary.
And it's funny because but then he'll leave me like the receipts. He's like, we need to do this on the HSA. I'm like, oh, now I have a clerical task. I don't really want to, like, great, you bought Advil. Let me go process this $3.50. Like, So, it's like sometimes I think it's like the bad customer service. We just haven't really thought through how to make people. And, we run in this all the time, whether it's even on the sales side. People don't think about a sales process. They think about what's convenient for them. They think about an underwriting process. So we've had some like secret shopper calls where somebody calls in for a quote and they say, okay, what's your email? I'll email you a form, fill it out and get it back to me. And then the whole thing is they email them the quote back. And I go say, well, yes, you need that underwriting information. It's a lot easier for you and more efficient for you. But how are you, what are you making the customer feel like? You're putting a lot of work on them. So I think the bad customer service is like this twofold of your procedures need to have the customer in the middle. And then sometimes people just have bad attitudes.
Yeah, I have an example of the secret shopper right now. We have one that she called her and spoke to her and asked her all the questions, went through a ton of questions, and then never called her back.
That happens actually quite routinely now that you're taking over the secret shoppers.
Yes. I mean, we had one, the last one we did, they were great. I mean, they couldn't say enough about how good the calls were and how well treated they were and responded. But this last one, they were like, oh yeah, they just never called back.
I know. And you think about it and somebody's like, I'm sure no one is like, oh, well, let me just destroy all the information I just did. Like people got, productive, or they didn't leave themselves an activity or sitting on their desk and 5 other things came on. And, I think prioritization in agencies is one of those really big struggles that people have of what to focus on. And we all tend to focus on the things that we would prefer to do versus maybe a complicated quote that's going to take an hour. I could just keep doing all the things coming at me, but that quote still lives. And then you always feel bad. You're like, well, if they quoted it 2 weeks later, like what a waste of time.
Yeah.
Like, just call the person, say, I don't think we're a good fit right now. We can't take on another customer. Have a nice day and kind of move on. But, I always think about when I think about customer service, like how I buy. And you've heard me say this at APP a lot. I am a big advocate. Like our customers never should be involved in our dysfunction. So if we have a process that's broken or something needs to be trained or we mess something up, like we just need to take care of the customer and we deal with it totally separately. Like, hey, we screwed up, we fixed it, and then internally we deal with it. But we don't go like, oh, Mr. Client, I'm sorry, our process was wrong. Like, great, like, oh, thank you for bringing my attention. Here, it's all set. You're taken care of. Have a great day. And then we take it on the back end. But I see a lot of people that would be like, oh, well, you know what? So, well, we're short staffed. Like, that's not a good example of customer service because you're just pulling that customer into the dysfunction of the agency. And if you are short staffed, that's something we all have to work around. If every customer service department in or out of insurance has been short staffed at some point in time.
And I think customer service has changed a lot. I think I started at a grocery store and, customers always right kind of mentality. Yeah. And we learned how to, be polite even when the customer's rude. And I think somewhere along the line, it changed to where the customer's not always right. And I'm the expert, so I'll do it my way, regardless of how it affects the customer. And I think right now, maybe the pandemic might have changed it some, but we're starting to go back to that. Like, hey, relationships are important. People are important. And I think maybe we forgot about that and we kind of pushed it aside. And the pandemic opened our eyes to see that people are really important and they need to be treated properly. They don't, there's no reason for, not treating a customer properly. So even if we are educating a client about insurance, we need to do it appropriately. We don't talk down to them. We, try to make them understand. And sometimes you have to explain something a couple different ways for them to understand it because one way they don't get it, they don't understand. So that's just not the way that they process information. And you have to change the way that you explain it for them to understand it. We need to realize that customer service and relationships are really important. Building rapport is really important. And customer service will change just by building rapport. Yeah, sometimes when you just talk to people and you build that rapport, you find out that they're just having a bad day. And they're not really mad at you and they're not, it's just they're having a bad day and they just kind of took it out on you. And if you find out what the deal is, you can soften that some and make them feel better and really wow them by changing how they feel by being such an excellent customer service person.
Yeah, no doubt. I think about it like, in travel, obviously, like we travel all the time. So there's a lot of hospitality, like, I'm in the hospitality industry all the time, whether it's restaurants or whatnot. And it amazes me too, like different airlines have a different vibe, right? So you kind of go to Southwest, they're quirky, they're fun, but man, if your bag is missing, good luck. Like, yeah, here you go. Like, we'll figure it out sometime. Where like Delta has really well-trained people and they're very kind and they've got the technology to support it. And obviously there's different price points for flights. Southwest is known a little bit more of a low cost provider where Delta is known as business travelers. But I also think that that's key when you're thinking about how do you give good or bad service is who is your customer, right? So if my customer are, working families that have 2-income households, maybe I do need to look at texting. Maybe I do not need to look at calling them during the workday all the time, or not that that's necessarily bad service, but it's also just being considerate of the type of customers you're trying to work with more than anything.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned America. I have a perfect example of that. I had a ticket that I had a credit on. I called in the morning and the guy's like, our systems are down. I can't see any of that. And you should be able to do all that online. And I said, no, sir, I can't do it online. I've already spoken to somebody and they told me that I had to talk to somebody to do the credit. And he's like, well, let me see what I can see. What is the ticket number? So I gave him the ticket number and he goes, clicks it in and he goes, oh yeah, I found it. Oh, it was from this place to this place and you can't get a credit if you're going somewhere else. And oh yeah, you do have to call. So just call later. And it's so funny because I called later and got the exact opposite. The guy I talked to was like, oh yeah, I can take care of that for you. Let me look at it. And oh, you have this other flight on hold already. Okay. Oh yeah, here's the credit. Yep. Let me just flip it over and this is how much it cost. And let me just charge your card for the remainder and we're good to go. It was complete opposite.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I have to deal with getting like some business licenses in North Carolina since you're there. And it's hysterical. Like I get a piece of paper, like you need this. I'm like, okay, cool. I go online and do it. But then they're like, in order to get this, you need this other number. So then I go over there, but in order to get that, I need to go to the Department of Revenue and get a number. So finally I called and like, I'm so flipping confused. They're like, oh, you need to call the Department of Revenue. So then I fill out everything and it's like, okay, you have to now wait like 3 weeks. And then supposedly someone's going to get in touch with me. But like, I have like no faith that this is going to happen. So I actually have like a task open to make sure I get this number so then I can apply for the second number and then go back and get the third number.
I didn't realize how complicated I was.
No, every state. It actually, Stephen in Washington is by far the craziest one. There's like, I get bills all the time for just having a Stephen. Department of Labor, and like I'm like, what? And all of them are like $118. Like I get like 3 bills every month for random things just for having a Stephen. So if anybody wants a Stephen, he does come with state of Washington weirdness. But like, let's think about this in insurance, because I know you've seen a lot, and I've seen a lot. Obviously, we do secret shopper calls, but like probably one of the worst examples of bad customer service was this agency had 2 people with the same name. I'll just say like Nikki, right? And so the person calls in asking to talk to Nikki. Now the front desk person doesn't really screen them, doesn't think about 2 Nikkis, right? So they get the first Nikki. They go, let me pull up your account. And they go, oh, you're with the other Nikki. Send them over the other Nikki. Their Nikki goes, no, you're with the other Nikki. And the guy went back and forth 4 times. And like you heard it on the recorded phone call, he was like, what? Like, what is going on? And finally he got in, he's like, I just don't care. I literally am getting divorced and I just need to get my wife off my policy, figure out what I got to do next. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm already in the middle of a divorce and I'm moving out and renting an apartment. Is there anything else that could go really crappy? And I felt so bad for him because anybody just needed to stop and like call the other Nikki, and the 2 Nikkis just need to put him on hold and figure out who was doing this. But the poor guy he was in a little bit of a bind.
Yeah. I think when somebody gets to the point where they don't like a customer and they're treating them like that, they just need to, okay, somebody else take it. Let's get a fresh person on it. Let's start over, and don't tell those other agents about that customer. Don't give them, because that may be your perspective of that customer. It might not be my perspective of that customer. And I've got a customer that follows me everywhere I go. I mean, she's even tried to follow me here.
We don't tell that.
So I had to find her, an agent. And, some people would be like, oh, that's so annoying. She follows you everywhere. But she trusts me, and she trusts, what I know about insurance. And she's followed me ever since I started in insurance way back in, 09. And she's still with me. So, and she's very, very particular. She is a stay-at-home mom, but her husband is in the financial industry. So they have a high value. They have excess life, the excess umbrellas and all that. She's very detailed, and she's one of those that reads her policies. She will read every part of the policy. And that's the point where you just say, okay, what page are you on?
Right.
Let me find that page. Let me read it. Let me get back to you. So we've got to have that patience to be able to kind of put ourselves in the customer's shoes and say, okay, what are they looking at? Why are they looking at it this way? And how can we solve their biggest challenge? Because that's what we're here for. We're here to solve their biggest challenges. And we have to do it in a manner that's appropriate. We can't just pass them around to different people because we don't want to answer them or we don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And I would say like sometimes my definition of bad customer service is different than others, right? Like I even think like putting someone in voicemail, like if I'm available, and I know this is delicate because, I believe in time blocks, but I also believe you're doing something complicated. You put yourself on do not disturb. But when somebody tries to transfer your call, I'm like, I'll put them into voicemail. I think that's bad customer service, right? But the next call, I'll take that one. It's like, hey, if you're going to be in service, you have to be thinking about this, or you have to go and put yourself on do not disturb to focus on the project. So it's not pick or choose who gets through. That's not super cool.
The technology has, kind of damped us a little bit because we have that ability to do that. Before, we didn't know who was calling. We would just answer the phone. So, technology can be an advantage, but it can be a disadvantage too, because it actually causes people to give lousy customer service because they know who's calling.
Yeah. Every agency, I think, trying to scale. And so, now we have kind of departmentalized the customer's experience, which I advocate for and I believe in. But there's some agencies that definitely take it like too far. Like, well, I only do billing and I only do claims and I only do this. And then they kind of like don't realize sometimes, because maybe people are newer, haven't had insurance experience, you know what I mean? That like we forget, like, yes, you may only know this, but you have to know the whole ecosystem on it and like why someone would think that this is important. Some other bad examples of some terrible customer service. I still think like if we email a policy, send a policy, a quote, I think that's bad customer service. That's again, like, I think my standards might be higher than others, but nobody knows what's in it. I feel like, hey, I'm giving them this very complicated thing and it's my role to explain it to them. So when I just email it because I want to get it off my desk, I think that sometimes we don't realize some of the selfish things that we do because we've got a lot of work and a lot of calls in the hard market. And maybe we don't want to have this difficult conversation. So we take the easy way out. And I feel like that's where my head is on bad customer service. It's not necessarily like swearing at somebody. Like the real egregious stuff happens such a few percentage points of the time.
Yep.
There's a whole layer that's probably not the best customer service that a lot of agencies live in.
Well, and I think we need to definitely address it. So if we have a staff member that we notice is not giving good customer service, we need to call them out and say, hey, why did you answer that customer that way? Because it's not fair to just let it continue. If you know it's happening, you're part of the agency too. It's kind of like, see something, say something, and sometimes it's like you feel like you're tattling on somebody, but you actually, everybody needs to self-evaluate and discover what exactly it is that they're doing and how they can improve. And we all need to be trying to improve instead of being just stuck in a rut. We've got some people that are just stuck in this place and they feel like they're doing everything right. And then you hear them with a customer and you're like, oh my goodness. Yeah. So, yeah. And I'd also like to mention, language barriers are an issue now too. So we have to be careful with those. I was actually at an agency and I speak Spanish and a lot of people don't know that. And I was listening to how one of a customer service rep was treating a Spanish client because nobody else in the office spoke Spanish. She was actually treating the client very poorly, talking down to them really bad. And I was just like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I have a license, I can do that. And I'm like, an insurance license does not give you the right to be rude and talk down to people. So we need to make sure that we do have a license, but our license should be used to educate people and, help them with their insurance, not to be rude.
Absolutely. And, I always say we had it with the agency, Bobby and I were yesterday, they stopped taking cash, they thought. Which is funny because I'm like the accounting person didn't deal with this. Like nobody was flagging it. So one location locked down. We're not taking cash. So the customer actually went to a different location with their cash and they took the cash. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, like that's an example of bad customer service because now that person's going to just keep going there. Now we're awkward. One was doing it, one wasn't. The customer's completely involved in our dysfunction because we couldn't just have a difficult conversation. We don't take cash. So the customer came in, I went in the other office. We felt bad, like sometimes bad customer service comes from us feeling bad and then compensating outside of our agency norms. And so then we end up creating more pickles.
And that's funny because I worked for a nationwide agency and it was with Joy. One of my coworkers worked at another nationwide agency. We were at two different agencies, but we were less than a mile apart. And that would happen between us because even though they had an agent, you could make nationwide payments. And if we didn't take the payment, they'd go down to her office and vice versa. So we ended up talking to each other and starting to communicate with each other to avoid those situations, even though we were with two different agencies. Obviously now not nationwide because nationwide doesn't have agencies. They're independent now. But, in those situations, we need to be communicating too. Hey, this customer just came and made this payment. And if you notice, maybe notes should have been put in the system. So when the other person pulled them up in the system, they could see that they had just walked in to try to make a payment at the other one. So we need to make sure we're communicating on those as well.
Yeah, I think that that's a huge opportunity right there. So, our point is like, it's not always these egregious situations of customer service, right? So don't think that that's the only way it could ever work. A lot of times it's just more little things that we don't think about. And to me, it's like we're sort of putting ourselves ahead of everybody else. We're putting ourselves into a situation and we really need to probably think through that a little bit. So any final words from you, Therese?
No, just make sure that you're greeting, you got a good greeting with the customer, that you're building rapport. That always helps. It makes the customer feel more at ease and it helps them relate to you more and get out there and treat people the way you want to be treated, basically.
I love that. Well, thanks for joining me on the podcast today.
Thank you.
We will catch up soon. And guys, check it out. Check out our WOW customer service course. you want your team to get the best customer service tips? We got them. You can get them digital, virtual work with a coach, or live and in person, because in a hard market, people are only going to remember how we make them feel. They will not actually remember what they pay. So it's our job to make them feel pretty special. So thank you.